guys, this is Lord Chael speaking on behalf of our show sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so you can officially call yourself a lord or a lady. Established Titles is not just about your ego. You also get to do some good. In addition to your new fancy title, Established Titles supports global charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to help with the afforestation effort. Your title pack gets you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in a private estate in Scotland. Your certificate features a unique plot number where you can see the exact location of your land. And right now, Established Titles is holding 200 plots of land right next to mine. So come join me in the Bad Guy Inc. Kingdom. Getting this certificate even allows you to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. Put it on your credit card, put it on your plane tickets, or if you're so inclined, put it on your dating profile. Makes for a great last-minute gift, and there's even couples packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Established Titles is having a great limited-time sale. Go to establishedtitles.com/Chael to save 10% off today. Remember to use the promo code Chael, or just click on the link below. One championship, guys, it was a treat. That's a word that I have been able to use before when describing an event, but very rarely. Something happens that turns out to be a treat, something that you savor, something that was better than what you expected. Now, what Chachery and One is bringing us is a card of combat with mixed rules. By example, you'll see a kickboxing match, but on the same event, you're going to see the World Grappling Championship, right? These things are polar opposite. One, the whole thing's on the ground. The other one, they never go to the ground. One, anything goes except for striking. The other one, all you can do is strike. And at the end of the night, we'll tie it all together, and it's anything goes MMA, right? I mean, it's one of these things. I've got to just to recap for you real fast. Let's go to the grappling. Let's go to Cade. Now, a week ago, the only grappling world champion that we have, the first ever crowned, Mikey. Mikey has an idea. He takes his idea to the internet, and it's for himself to take on the #1 Sambo practitioner in the world. Now, the Sambo practitioner heard about it and came to us, and we tied this all together. And I thought, what a great job by Mikey. I mean, what a really clever and good idea. Because even though in 1993, when they set up something called the Ultimate Fighting Championship in the Octagon for the very first time, even though that was to bring in a mix of the martial arts, and even though that evolved into something else, where now guys were learning to strike and grapple and strike. Before we got to that point, we had not seen everything against everything. I mean, by example, I never saw the Olympic Taekwondo versus the representative chosen by karate. I would like to. That's interesting to me. I don't know which one of those arts is more effective in the stand-up. I really don't know. It was never tested. So there's certain things that are clever, and I really liked when Mikey called out the Sambo guy, and I love that the Sambo, #1 guy in the world, responded to him. Now, last night, I'm watching Cade Runtello, who is the reigning ADC world champion, just won it. It's a month ago. He just wins the championship, and he's going to take on the reigning Sambo champion. So all of a sudden, I'm confronted with the fact that this wasn't Mikey's idea. I've been giving Mikey this credit for having this brilliant call. He already saw Chachery make the match, thought it was, and then duplicated it. I've been duped. Now, that's a point for Mikey. That's okay. I'm just going to correct the stance. I realize I marked out for this, but I thought that he had a unique, autonomous thought. I didn't know that he was taking the next thing in line and then inserting himself. I just didn't know that. But now we've got, because see, I liked it when Mikey said it. I liked it when the Sambo guy responded. And Sambo, in parts of the world, particularly the Eastern Bloc, is a much more organized curriculum than Jiu-Jitsu is worldwide. Much more. And that is a point of interest. Okay, great. So this match is going to go down, but we don't fully know what we're getting into, right? I mean, Sambo, on one hand, is actual athlete with an actual performance that has an actual architecture in place. It has an actual structure. But it's going to go against Jiu-Jitsu, which, while being a niche, for all the years that it's been around, boy, it sure seemed to figure out that grappling thing, didn't it? Well, now we're going to see this. We're going to see this actually tested. And I've tried to bring this to you guys. I've tried to bring this concept. It's a little bit hard for me rhetorically to articulate. But I say this as a lifelong grappler. Took me 20 years. I have one of the few black belts given out by Fabiano Schur, but I will tell you now, as a black belt, there are positions within grappling that I know nothing about. That bothers me. I'm hungry, I'm curious, I want to know them. At one point, I had them all figured out. It evolved, it changed. Eddie Bravo all of a sudden comes out with a rubber guard, just by example. Danaher Death Squad, all of a sudden is going below the waist, but with different techniques, different finishes, and different setups than we had ever seen before. You think you understand jiu-jitsu? Until you end up in half guard for the first time. That is a sport and a position in and of itself. Okay. But we still have Sambo, and that is still recognized. And that is still done in certain parts of the world with an actual competitive architecture. And that guy is going to come in, and he's going to take on the reigning ADCC champion. Interesting match. I want to see what happens. Now, Cade spoke about this, and Cade didn't say very much. Overall, Cade was just positive. Overall, Cade's just a really good guy with a really good attitude. But he did speak to the X's and O's of the match in one regard, which is he said, I want to test my wrestling. I know this guy has very good wrestling, very good trips, very good judo. I want to see how I do. Okay, great. If he's curious, now he's made me curious, let's go out and test that. But if it fails and you end up on bottom, can you protect yourself? And the answer was yes. It was yes. Guys, there was a day 5 years ago, maybe more like 7 years ago. But if you were put into a knee bar, right, which Oleg Tektarov showed the world for all of you old timers, if you're put in a knee bar, which is a devastating position, the guy's going to break your leg. You take your free leg, you put it in his butt, and you push him down. You're now safe. His hips must be in an extremely specific location for a knee bar to work. So take your foot, push him on the ass, move his hips down an inch, and now you're safe. When Tektarov made the move famous, we didn't know that. Once we found it out, it was pretty easy to stop. Now you come into something much more devastating known as a heel hook. Well, a heel hook, while being devastating, while being banned in many practice rooms as well as competitions, it's very easy to defend. You just have to roll. The guy's trying to turn you one way. The way he's trying to turn you, turn. Go ahead and turn. And if he rolls with you, roll again. And if you end up in MMA, first off, hit the guy in the face. Second, if that doesn't work, keep rolling until you hit the fence. If you hit the fence, you got a problem because you can't roll. But this was still the answer. Guys, that was only 5 to 7 years ago. It's not now. I got to credit Craig Jones. I got to credit Gordon Ryan. More specifically, I have to give it to John Danaher. I just have to. I don't have a choice. But they are now putting you in this manipulation with a very move that you used to be able to roll. They're bringing their leg over. They're securing you. They're arching in a different way that stops the roll. It's fascinating. It truly is fascinating. And I didn't know that Cade was armed with that. I didn't know that he was armed with that because he got his black belt under Andre Galvao. I didn't know that Andre was armed with that. Andre did not go below the waist that often. He also didn't have a lot of guys do it to him. We were really wondering, can Gordon do that? Is that going to be the difference in this match? Cade's awesome. Cade is well-rounded. Cade is very well prepared. And Cade is also very young, right? Got his black belt at 17. He's 19 now. That's not the kind of guy that you want to call out. Nobody wants to call, right? The best guys in jiu-jitsu, they're around 25, they're around 29 years old. You don't want to call out a boy. You don't want to call out a teenager. But when the teenager's the champion of the world, the rules have to change. Who's next for Cade? You tell me.